Hi guys, Frank Cava, experienceinvestor.com here. I'm standing in front of 6203 Galaxy Drive in Richmond, Virginia. And what we're going to talk about with this house is a couple things. First, we're going to start with property acquisition. If you can see around me, this house has complete and total overgrowth with grass. This would be a remarkable house if you had a bird dog working for you to either door knock or to do a search on who the owners are and getting in touch with them. This is, it screams out, this house is vacant. So this is one of the things that I want to show you with this house. Now, we found this piece through a direct mail campaign, and we sent the postcard and got in touch with the heirs who owned it, but this is clearly a vacant house. Now, a lot of the houses that we show you when we buy them in befores, this one is in really, really bad shape. When we get inside, I'll talk some of the specifics with that. But the first thing to look at from an acquisition standpoint is a rundown yard in a community that has actually pretty nice yards around it. So this one stands out as being vacant. I'll go inside and we'll show you some other stuff. Okay, so before we walk into the house, I want to just talk a little bit about the existing structure and what we have in front of us, and also a little bit about the community as a whole. The tricky thing with buying, fixing, and selling a house is you can be wrong 3 times. The first place you have to be correct is on your acquisition price. The second is on the repair costs, and the third is the comps on the back end of what you're going to sell it for. If you're wrong on any one of those, you can lose money. Now, if you do it right, you can do quite well. Or if you do it wrong, you go from losing money to maybe making very little or not as much as you'd hoped. So on a house like this, let's talk about acquisition costs and existing structure first. The house is in pretty good shape. It's got a 4-bed, kind of 4 beds. It's run down inside, needs a lot of work, but the community around it has comps that are between 160 and 180, and there's kind of a blank space from 180 to 200, and then it goes from about 200 to 225 depending on the finish and the square feet. We're at about 1,500 square feet, and the vision with this house when it's finished for it to be a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, with some really cool pop features inside and a really, really nice kitchen and really nice upscale baths. So what we think from the acquisition price to the sales price, we can get in that 200 range. Okay, so we've walked into the house, and as you can tell, this house is a little bit closed off and it's just in really, really bad shape. The upside of buying homes that are in bad shape is that the owners kind of can be honest with themselves and know that the house has not been taken care of. This gives you an opportunity in purchasing and getting it for a price that's going to allow you to make some money on the back end, because what ends up happening is if the seller can be realistic, you can get to a number. Now, if the seller can't be realistic, what you can do is use things to your advantage that are negatives on the house. Now, first of all, there's no appliances. This house is really badly cut up. And the other thing that's pretty bad is the smell. James and I are in here and it stinks. Now, I've got a friend who's in the chicken, basically excrement hauling business. And as you can imagine, it stinks terribly. But he always smiles and goes, "Oh, that terrible smell just smells like money to me." When I walk into a house like that, that's what I see, is you can use these things to your advantage to drive at a price that works for you. The broad market also isn't going to buy a home like this because it's in terrible shape. But with what we know how to do, we know how to add value to a home at a reasonable cost. And one of the things we can do quite easily is clean it and make it better and more presentable. On the upside with this house, it's got good bones. It's built in the 1950s, 1,500 square feet. It's right in the sweet spot. There's 1,300 to 2,000 square foot houses. There's some newer homes around, and there's a lot of activity here. The school district is pretty good. The community itself is nice, blue collar, $200,000 homes are surrounding it. So that gives us a lot to work with. The other thing that you see is most of the problems are cosmetic. At some point in the not too distant past, I replaced windows, so we don't have to do that. The roof is in pretty good shape, and I don't see any water leaks or anything that looks like it's going to be super costly to fix on the back end. We're going to start on this house in a couple of days. So what we've done so far is we've already brought out our home inspector who's given us a home inspection, and the house is in pretty good shape according to him. We've brought out our contractor who's given us a full estimate to do all of the repairs. And we've also brought a realtor in who's looking at it in current condition, but with an eye for what it's going to look like when it's finished. And she was giving us comps on the back end with the sales price. So if you're organized on the front end, you use the condition of the home to drive down the price and you get it at the right number. If you know that you're not walking into any major surprises like foundation problems, roof problems, you can then get very realistic construction numbers. And if you've got both of those two things, you know the acquisition price, your construction numbers, and you know where you're going to sell it, what you can then do is buy the house with confidence, do the work, price it to market, and sell it quickly and make a handsome profit. We're going to walk around now and I'm going to show you some of the things that we're going to really do to help sell this house. Okay, so we're still in the kitchen, but what I want to show you a little bit about this kitchen is its current layout. Layouts change. I grew up in the 1970s. Well, I was born in the 70s. I grew up in the 1980s is how I would view it. And I remember we had like that ugly orange Formica countertop, and it had like that big pregnant belly at the end of it that you could kind of put 3 or 4 stools around. That's out. I mean, that is a dated style. The orange, clearly, so too is that island. This particular kitchen is also out. So if you come back and just finish a kitchen like this in the same format, you're going to be updating it, but you're going to be updating an old car. What we want to do instead is we want to make the house current. So what we're going to do is we're going to wipe out some of these walls. We're going to have a cabinet designer come in on Monday who's going to lay out a better floor plan, a 2015 type floor plan, and we're going to open this way up. We're going to give ourselves a lot of flex space. Kitchen with an island, dining room, living room, family room. But when you walk in the front door, you're going to have an open that you can see from the front door to the kitchen, because the kitchen and the bath sell houses. They really do. The functionality, like numbers of bedrooms and the square footage, certainly play in. But if you're in the right square footage range and bedroom bath range for somebody, the really nice appointments and the things that people get excited about when they walk in the door are the things that help sell it. So what we do is open it from a living standpoint, but then we also, what we'll do is make it so you can see it from the front door, so it really has a lot of impact. The other thing we're going to do in this house is we're going to do some very inexpensive but very impactful types of designs. We're going to get some old wood and stain it. If you've been in one of those modern hamburger places nowadays, they got all those really cool Edison bulbs and they have that really cool wood. That's completely come back. The nice thing is, it is really a cool pop feature. People get excited about it, but also it's not very expensive. And you can do it for a reasonable cost and get a lot of value back out of it. So those are some of the things you have to pick and choose as you're doing your job to make sure that you're going to be able to get the price that you want and you'll be able to sell the home pretty quick. All right, so now we're standing in kind of this, like, who knows, no man's land between rooms. A lot of houses that we buy in our marketplace, they were old homes that were added on to the back of. This is a perfect example of that. It's got this goofy, like, half hallway that's on a slab versus everything else here up here was built on a crawl space because this space was added on at some point in the past. What we're going to do is reconfigure this layout, and then it's too tight to get into the bathroom with me, but I'm going to show you some stills of what those bathrooms look like too. You can see right now they're just functional bathrooms, but there was some point in the 1980s where we, as owners that are paying mortgages, wanted to go from sharing a bathroom with the kids to having our own. And then somewhere in the 90s to 2000s it became, let's have really, really huge, nice bathrooms. Since the recession, the market, especially in this price band, what it wants is a separate bedroom for the owners of the home versus something else for kids and guests. But it just needs to be nice. It doesn't have to be huge. It's got to be well appointed. So what we're going to do in the owner's bathroom is we're going to put in a really cool shower, glass door, high-end tile. It's going to have a shower seat, then it's going to have a nice vanity, and it's going to have a separate toilet area. So it'll be really nice. We're going to probably do some tile on the walls to really decorate it and make it look cool. And also, again, not very expensive, but just really nice kind of pop features that make us different and stand out. The other thing you're going to notice is we're in a digital age. I'm talking about one of our houses that we're going to put on the market. I'm talking to you about it in the very beginning. The first way people shop for houses nowadays is online. A lot of times they're looking on their phone or they're looking at Zillow, but they're doing it either on a desktop, a laptop, or their phone. And a lot of times it's just phone. So really good pictures, they're going to see that and go, ooh, I want to see that house. It looks really good. So that's the reason we put some of the high-end finishes in. And it's the other reason why we put staging in our house as well. So that's this bathroom over here. Behind me is the hall bath. So that's going to be for kids or guests or probably everyday use. What we like to do with that is we like to go neutral and then stage it. So what we'll do is a lot of whites, blacks, and maybe a couple of pop colors. And then our designer will come in after we're done and put up a shower rod and then put some color in there as well. So it really looks good when it's time to sell. As far as the bedrooms are concerned, the bedrooms are adequate size, closets are in good shape. So this house has great bones. It's just a smelly, dirty, trash-ridden mess. But again, that to me looks like a lot of money. We'll see you back outside. All right, so we're back up front now. And what we've talked about is acquisition, getting it for the right price, using the detriment of the home itself to help drive the price down to something that is affordable where you can make money. Then it's coming up with a scope of work that's going to fit the community and the comps around you, making sure that you're not going to run into any problems because you have a home inspection and you also have somebody who goes out and does your estimate, and then knowing about what you're going to sell it for in the back end. We're going to start this house, it's Friday, we're going to start this house on Monday. This should be between 4 to 6 weeks, we should be completely finished, and we think this house is going to sell for right around 200 grand. We'll be back, we'll show you a couple of updates, and show you what it looks like on the back end. All right guys, Frank Cava, experiencedinvestor.com. We'll see you soon. Hey guys, Frank Cava, one last thing before we go. Don't forget about these. These signs cost about 25 bucks to have them made. Ours has got our website, our phone number on it, and we've made hundreds of thousands of dollars off of these signs alone. Neighbors will come by, see a house, and call us. We've bought houses right around the corner. And in addition to that, we've gotten buyers this way and also lenders. So don't forget your cheap little sign. All right, talk to you soon.